I'm with Robert Johnson today, founder of Flute Specialist. And Robert, it is such a privilege to have you here as a sponsor of the Tootie Flute Academy. I remember we were rubbing elbows in the National Flute Convention back in 1998, so that's how far back we go. And all that time, I have never asked you such penetrating questions as, how'd you come up with the idea for Flute Specialists? Let's explore that on this interview in this opening question. Tell us about the origin of Flute Specialists.
Oh, thank you, Christopher. Yes, Flute Specialists was founded over 25 years ago. At that time, there were very few nationally known repair shops and sales companies. So there was a great need at that time, as there is today, for quality technicians and companies that really care about flutists like we do. And we just love helping flutists find flutes and piccolos. And we've been very fortunate over these great number of years to be able to build quite a large national and international group of flutists that really choose to work with us.
So you're basically a service industry that has clients globally, domestic and international.
Well, we do. And there really is great opportunity for flutists to reach out to us. And we work directly with individual flutists and their families and help them find instruments that they can purchase, play test. And really, quite honestly, there's always a need for a flute and a piccolo in people's lives. Everyone wants to play flute, it seems. It's such a popular and still growing in popularity as far as an instrument.
So, Robert, I think these are the best types of companies that are service-oriented, that have numerous outreach programs. I'd love for you to talk a little bit more in detail about the types of outreach programs you have in the communities, especially the underserved communities, the poorer communities. How do you provide them, opportunities to fix their instruments, perhaps at lower cost, or provide them musical instruments like piccolos and flutes?
We, as a flute company, have the same challenges that flutists have, getting the name and recognition into the community far and wide. So I've often said flutists and flute shops like ours, we really are on the same team. And so we really try to partner with and coordinate with the individual flutists and really try to understand what they're looking for, what kind of price range they may be looking for, what type of instrument, what type of sound, what kind of durability they're looking for in an instrument. So we really do try to partner with the individuals. We love providing objective consultations where we really don't want to be biased and directing people to products that we think we want them to purchase. We want them to find the instrument themselves through trying multiple instruments if necessary, and then make the selection based on what really truly works for them.
So, Robert, you are both a professional flutist and a flute technician.
Yes, it's true. I do play flute. And I am a technician as well as the founder of Flute Specialists. So I do quite a bit as far as flute playing, flute repairing, and also flute consultations. So yes, I started as a young flutist and was able to win a small competition and actually was sent to Nice, France to study with Jean-Pierre Rampal and Maurice Adderjan and Marianne, great French school. So it was at that time I realized that I wouldn't practice the 3 to 5 hours a day it was necessary to be a flute performance major. So I did ultimately pursue the technical aspect of the flute, and I've spent my entire life learning about the flute from a technical perspective.
In this shop in Clawson, a technician adjusts pads to the perfect percussion and sets keys with the skill of a surgeon.
We can actually adjust the instrument with our eyesight and by our hearing, and with our touch to a 3/1000th of an inch tolerance level. And so for some flutists, they may feel that if the flute's a little bit of adjustment, they're not able to express themselves the way they would like.
Robert Johnson has been in the business of flute repair and service for 17 years. He was a skilled metal worker, artist, and musician that turned his love for the flute into an international business.
And if I'm correct, you actually trained in Muramatsu, the actual plant in Japan, as a technician and learning metallurgy and things like this.
That's right, Christopher. I was very fortunate to have the opportunity to work with the chief engineers at Muramatsu Flutes Japan, and I was invited to work in the factory in Japan a number of years ago, many years ago, and it was a marvelous experience. Really, all the training that I received there is what I use today as a philosophical way to repair flutes, but also a philosophical way to run a business, actually. They taught me quite a bit while I was there. So it was a marvelous experience living and working in Japan for a very brief period of time.
Robert, what other things does the flute specialist shop specialize in?
We do quite a bit. The flutes and the piccolos, the repairs, but also we have a great inventory of accessories. A lot of the accessories we have are exclusive to flute specialists. Of course, we have music for those who are looking for a particular piece. One of the fun things that we do, of course, for our local flutists in our area here, we have a great staff of flute teachers and instructors, but we also have flute choirs. And we have 3 flute choirs that meet in our building here. And so we really find flute choirs are really one of the newest and most important trends for flutists seeking opportunities to socialize, perform, rehearse. It really is a marvelous new thing in our industry, these flute choirs that are all over the country, all over the world. We're big fans of flute choirs.
You know, I read this on your website, and I thought, that's a very smart man. I mean, you're a lovely person, beautiful heart, gracious, and here's a man who's smart enough to have a daytime shop, which is your, almost in a sense, typical. You have service repair, you have onboard staff teaching, you provide flutes, flute music, boutique items, I'm sure. But at night, you turn the store 3 times a week into this forum whereby flutists of all ages and all groups, without any decree about technical skill, they can all find a part that corresponds to their level of skills. And you turn it into a community event. I'm sure, given this integration and interaction, you get a lot of repeat business or extend your business because of this concept of yours.
Absolutely, absolutely. We're really very blessed to have flutists that love working with us, and to that end, we have the highest regard and respect for anyone who chooses to work with us. We just are not only flattered and humbled, but we give them our very best effort always. What I began to realize years ago is many of the flutists we work with did not have an opportunity to play with others. Yes, there's orchestra players and there's community bands, but many flutists just didn't have an opportunity for ensemble playing. So I really thought at that time that having an open flute choir where there were no auditions and no fees, so we have intermediate and advanced choirs, and we just think that that is the way to go. And often flutists we meet of all ages can be very committed to the flute, have a great passion for the flute, but no opportunity to perform with others. And so we think in terms of flute players, not based on their chronological age, but on their flute years. So we may have an adult who's been playing 3 or 6 years, or a young person who's been playing 7 or 8 years. So we have choirs that will accommodate anyone's skill level, and they're all very committed to playing, Christopher. The passion for flute is quite remarkable, and it's great to see someone who maybe stopped playing for 10 years start playing again as an adult, or even a senior citizen.
Robert, what inspires you?
I really started as a young flutist and determined that flute is very cool. But I studied art as well in university and had many opportunities to go in multiple directions there. But as while I was in college studying painting and sculpture that I started working for Muramatsu flutes. And for all as I realized when I started, maybe I would have done it for a day or two and not enjoyed the work, maybe for a summer or two, maybe while a student in graduation, moving on to bigger and better things. But it was something that I connected to, something that I really did understand, something that made sense to me, and ultimately has been proven to be a marvelous challenge. And so I do think the art sometimes choose the individual.
And that dramatic mural behind you, I believe you are the author of.
Well, thank you, Christopher. Yes. I still paint and I still sculpt. It's not unusual, I find, for a lot of the flutists I meet and work with to be multi-talented. But thank you. I truly love painting and sculpting, and certainly it's still a passion for me today.
Now, Robert, you are serving the National Flute Association's Commercial Members Council. I know it's a group of 4 people. What does that entail?
Christopher, that is a group of commercial members which ultimately means exhibitors at the National Flute Association in the exhibit hall, handpicked exhibitors, and there are 4 of us that serve as an advisory council to the executive team of the NFA, primarily addressing the issues that would be associated with the exhibit hall before the NFA, during the NFA, preparation for the NFA. So it really is quite a marvelous opportunity to serve the National Flute Association, give back to the National Flute Association.
Okay, so people online, students, professionals alike, you've met Robert. You've got a chance to get the grace and dignity of this man, this dedicated person. Obviously, so many years of dedicated service to this marvelous thing called the flute community, global flute community. But Robert has an outstanding newsletter. Robert, tell us about your newsletter. Tell us about what people can get out of it.
Oh, that's great, Christopher. We make our newsletter as informative as possible. We have a marvelous newsletter that we send out monthly. Our goal with our newsletter is to be encouraging and informative. And we seek out nationally known flutists and educators of all kinds of different articles that address all the things that flutists may need to know about. We make a special effort to have the newsletter interesting and informative. If you sign up for our electronic newsletter, we'll be having a raffle where we're giving away a piccolo or a $550 gift certificate to shop online at flutespecialist.com. You can read back issues too, Christopher, on the blog section on our flutespecialist.com website. But it is a good read, as we like to say. It's well worth reading, and our coupons are located on the newsletter as well as featured items. And thank you for asking. It is a marvelous newsletter.
I think that is totally awesome. I think everybody online, listen to me, Christopher Caliendo here, beseeching you. I don't even have to beseech you. This is just a marvelous thing. Get the newsletter. Become a member of the Flute Specialist newsletter and take advantage of these great raffle, great prizes, great information. It's free. It's from Robert. Big heart. Big kudos to you, Robert. Wonderful. Before we come back with Robert, though, I wanted to show you this website. We're going to fly it in here right now, and you can see there's a number of videos on basically, given his consummate experience in repairing flutes, he gives tips and strategies on how you can repair your flute yourself. So watch this video series. It's absolutely enlightening. Robert does a professional job in everything he does. Robert, thank you. Thank you so much for being a sponsor, for being a gentleman's gentleman. Your dignity, your grace, your dedicated years of service, 35 years for the flute community, and you're in the middle of your career looking forward, and you have so many other artistic variants, you know, painting and sculpture. You're really quite a marvel, and I'm so grateful to know you and continue this relationship on this brand new, transformative online music academy. And thank you so much for supporting it. God bless you, Robert.
Thank you, Chris. It's been a marvelous chance to spend time with you, and I appreciate the opportunity to be a sponsor to the Tutti Academy. What a marvelous opportunity for flutists to online to learn and watch videos that will be informative and encouraging, instructive. It's such a positive opportunity and a message that you're sending out with all of the teachers and instructors that are participating. The idea that someone can watch the live videos or go back to watch the videos again and again at their own leisure, with the 2 different membership opportunities, with the standard membership and the VIP membership. It's really an affordable opportunity to have hours and hours and hours of masterclass level teaching experiences. I just think lesson experiences. I think that's marvelous. I really do.
Thank you, Robert.